That's what we see in the Book of Mormon with Nephi and Lehi in these chapters coming up. You've got everything going wrong. You've got, it seems like the whole world is falling apart on us. Look at chapter 4, verse 11. Now this great loss of the Nephites and the great slaughter which was among them would not have happened had it not been for their wickedness and their abomination which was among them, yea, and it was among those who also professed to belong to the church of God. And it was because of the pride of their hearts, because of their exceeding riches, because of their oppression to the poor, withholding their food from the hungry, withholding their clothing from the naked, and smiting their humble brethren upon the cheek, making a mock of that which was sacred, denying the spirit of prophecy and of revelation, murdering, plundering, lying, stealing, committing adultery, rising up in great contentions and deserting away into the land of Nephi among the Lamanites. All these things are happening. So what do? Well, instead of giving up and turning away from God and saying, well, I'm not even going to try anymore, Nephi and Lehi in chapter 5, they say, let's be obedient, let's be diligent, let's be faithful, and we're going to move forward. Chapter 5 is this beautiful example for us today of what to do when you find yourself in a trough of life. They remembered. Since they can't see the light and the truth, so to speak, in the world around them, they cast their mind back to some things. And what does their mind go back to? Things that they learned at home with beautiful teachings from parents. Look at chapter 5, and you'll notice a word that gets repeated 15 times in 10 verses, starting in verse 5. Remember, remember.
Yeah, we've talked about this in past lessons, that remember means to put members back together. It's putting memories back together. And in a covenantal context, it's remembering all the great deeds that God has done for you, all his mercy, his acts of grace. If we connect it to Moroni's grand promise in Moroni chapter 10, he tells us, remember all the mercy that God has provided to humanity throughout all of human history. And after you've done that, then ask him if this is not true. So when we remember all that God has done for us, and all of us have experienced tremendous moments of God's outpouring. You may not feel it right now, but if you remember, you will be able to find times in your memory when God blessed your life, when you knew he was real. And when you remember those things, it brings it back to the present, and it is encouraging to us to be faithful to God. And it motivates our actions to stay true and faithful on the covenant path. And so what it does is, like, we had these incredible moments. We might be down here in the trough. We got to remember that this was real, and we can have it again through the power of God.